Welcome back to Paranormal Peak. Our last feature-length special, we unveiled the inner workings of the Legacy Program, a shadow government operating above the law, capable of denying sitting U.S. presidents access to the truth about non-human intelligence. Today, we look at the immediate, real-world consequence of that program's power. In the last few months, and especially in the reporting of the last 7 days, the resistance to disclosure from Washington has not only continued, it has intensified. The question isn't if the Legacy Program is real. The question is, how much of Congress is now doing its bidding? To understand the current Congressional Blackout, we need to revisit 2 critical dates that marked a clear turning point against transparency. The summer of 2023 was the high watermark for UAP disclosure advocates. Following David Grush's testimony and growing public pressure, a bipartisan group of senators, led by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, introduced the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure Act of 2023, or UAPDA. This legislation was modeled after the JFK Assassination Records Review Board Act. Its key components were revolutionary. It mandated the establishment of a UAP records collection at the National Archives. Critically, it would have granted the government eminent domain, the legal authority to seize any retrieved non-human technology or craft from private corporations or individuals, effectively crippling the Legacy Program's material assets. For the first time, Congress was saying, "We are taking the stuff back." The UAPDA was introduced as an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, the Annual Defense Spending Bill. When the final version of the NDAA was signed into law in December 2023, the UAPDA was almost unrecognizable. The most crucial element, the eminent domain provision that allowed the government to seize non-human technology, was completely removed. The only things that remained were the least controversial items, the records collection mandate, and a process for delayed disclosure. This was not a legislative compromise. It was a targeted, surgical removal of the one provision that truly threatened the Legacy Program. This act demonstrated a non-elected authority successfully vetoed the will of the highest legislative body. Which brings us to the past 7 days. Since December, the pro-disclosure members of Congress, the same ones who were silenced on the NDAA, have been trying to push further hearings, amendments, and protective legislation for whistleblowers, and they are hitting a brick wall. The recent reporting characterizes this resistance as a silent protest, the refusal by key members of Congress on oversight committees to even bring these disclosure issues to a vote or hold meaningful, open hearings. What is happening? 1. Stonewalling. Committees responsible for intelligence and national security are reportedly citing issues of security, classification, and timing, effectively running out the clock on the current legislative session. 2. Fear of the program. Whistleblowers have continued to warn of career suicide and retribution for speaking out. The program's power isn't just in the shadows, it is institutional, and its allies in Congress are executing its will by simply allowing the issue to die of inaction. 3. The budget barrier. The program's ultimate strength, as we discussed in the special, is its black budget. Without the ability to seize the assets, the NHI technology, Congress has no leverage. They can't force hearings if the key witnesses, the custodians of the technology, are hidden behind a wall of corporate privilege and security classifications that certain members of Congress refuse to breach. The current congressional blackout is not a sign of disbelief in UAPs. It is a sign of fear of the Legacy Program. The forces that denied President Bush the truth are now successfully running a coordinated lobbying and legislative effort to ensure that technology worth trillions of dollars, technology of non-human origin, remains in the hands of the unelected few. The battle is no longer over if the phenomenon is real. The battle is over who owns the truth. And for now, the program is winning the legislative war. Thank you for joining us for this crucial update. It shows that the work we started in our special is more vital than ever. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and keep demanding transparency.